Welcome to Describing the Skybox, the podcast that's like a book club for people who don't think that books reward them enough for being good at them. I'm Chad Rowland.
And I'm Andy Kinnick.
And today, we're going to be talking about That Which Gave Chase, a game that was developed by Aslak Carlson Hooglid. I don't know how to pronounce this last name. Published by Fremd and released in 2023 on Windows, macOS, and Linux.
But first, if you give us a like, a rating, or subscribe, follow us on Blue Sky. We have one of those now. That would be greatly appreciated. Chad, can you describe That Which Gave Chase?
Without spoiling it, I would say That Which Gave Chase is a horror adventure game with some light racing mechanics. It's an interesting one, actually. There's a lot about this game that I find really cool. And I do want to say that because the first thing I'm going to talk about is going to be a bit of a mild spoiler. So if you're interested in this game, it is only like an hour long. And I imagine cost like 2 donuts to buy. I don't know.
It's definitely cheap.
Yeah, so this is one that it's definitely worth like checking out before listening to the episode, probably. But this is like an eldritch horror game. And I guess like the name kind of implies that to some extent because it has this air of like, oh, that which gave chase. Like it's a mystery. It's a thing that it's undescribable. But I was a little bit surprised to see that was like the direction that it went in as the game went on. So yeah, it's also set, as we were talking about before the podcast, in like a wintry is not the word, just like Arctic. Like it takes place in a place with an extremely cool tundra climate.
Yeah, probably like Scandinavia or Canada.
Yeah, based on the developer's name.
Yeah.
Is probably, yeah. Which gives it sort of this like barren kind of vibe to it. And I found the whole like atmosphere and tone to be really impeccable, like really good. And no matter what else I say about the game, something to take away from this game is very good at making you feel in the zone while you're playing it.
Yeah, and I think I put this game on the list. I think I saw it on like one of the many indie game recommendation lists that I have devoured over the years. And yeah, I just remember it standing out like it's looking like it would be atmospherically similar to The Thing, which it kind of is. But but it's also got sled dogs.
That's true. Yeah, I would say I wanted to, but my first reaction to that was a little less paranoid, but actually no. Actually, it's kind of similarly paranoid to The Thing. So good call out, I would say.
Yeah, just like a guy in the snow with a big puffy jacket on.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like this game takes place it's a first-person perspective game. It feels very much of the Szymanski ilk, if you are familiar with those games. We did an episode on several of those where it is this like very sort of focused narrative horror game. And I don't know if this is the right thing to talk about right now, but also there's very few episodes that we've ever done that have gone longer than the game itself. And I don't know if this is going to be one of them. But it also has this like actual mechanical through line in the sense that you have to like pilot this sled for the whole game, which I don't know how you felt about it, but I found it to be pretty hard to do.
Yeah, I did as well. I played this, I think, like over the summer. So unseasonable time to play it. But like I was hanging out with some friends and we decided that they just wanted to watch somebody play a game. So I was like, I heard about this one. I'll play this. And so I was playing it with an audience. So like I feel I felt like the pressure to like actually like more so than I probably would have if I was playing by myself to like pilot the sled well, which made like the
Right.
stampede sequence like pretty brutal.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the time that I think maybe the only time in the game you can die. I don't know if that's true or not. It's the only time that I died.
Yeah, I mean you can fall off a cliff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that anywhere else.
But yeah, the stampede thing was well because I assume that you played on a keyboard if you
Yeah.
also found it hard or they did something weird because I don't know if there are controller controls, but I found the keyboard controls to be like just I feel like intentionally difficult to do because you have to like hold there's only 4 buttons and it's like move left and right and then lean left and right. Oh, I guess and then S slows down. But they map them to Q and A and E and D. So they're like over top of each other on the like so you have to put 2 fingers to move and to slide or move and turn. It just like it's really a kind of like a weirdly unintuitive system that I think that despite what I'm saying helps the game feel like you're on the brink of madness at all times. And then the stampede sequence I think pushes it too far and breaks it where you're like, oh, now it's like I'm repeating the section over and over again because the controls are weird and not really because like I don't get it or something.
Yeah. It almost kind of feels like it's going for like a aggro from Shadow of the Colossus style thing where you're not really controlling the sled, you're controlling the reins, which just sway the dogs left and right. So yeah, that's the only real thing that you can do. And then yeah, you can like grab onto the sled and tilt it one way or the other. Yeah, and I'm glad to hear you say that because like I always struggle when I control a game with WASD and then they put things on the Q and E keys. And I thought that was just like a me thing. I thought people who were like really good at or like really have been playing PC games their whole life, that's like second nature to them. So like I also found it kind of awkward, but I'm glad to hear you say that you also thought it was awkward.
Yeah, no, it super was.
But yeah, like I don't know. For me, like I don't know. I feel like it really adds to the game because like, and I do think it's like partially intentional that it's a bit awkward because like I think it almost feels like scripted in like the opening sequence when they tell you can tilt the sled, that you're gonna tilt it all the way over and then have the your companion like yell at you for tilting the sled over. Like yeah, like so yeah, it feels a little tongue in cheek like that. But yeah, I also think probably the stampede sequence is a bit too demanding for it, but I don't know. I played it up months ago, so I guess my heart has softened to it a little bit, and I want to be like, it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, it's whatever. I think the problem with the stampede sequence is just the fact that you're repeating these sections that aren't like. We described this multiple times now as a horror game. Like, oh, it's a horror game. It's a cosmic horror game. But it isn't like a horror game where you're like, oh, I might die to a monster, right? That isn't the feeling that it tries to get across. And the stampede sequence is therefore not playing into the game's strengths, really.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just sort of there. It's not like I want to take it out because like it does have like a purpose. The fact that the stampede is happening is like a moment within the game, but it is also a like a part where it repeating it multiple times, which I say over and over. Like I don't know, it probably took me like 5 tries or something to get done. I'm not sure. It just takes a lot of the impact out of it, and it wasn't like scary, and it didn't move the narrative forward. It just was the thing that I had to do mechanically in the game that was actually hard, and it felt weird and out of place.
It is nice to have something literally chase you at one point in the game, though.
That is true, yeah. That maybe that's what gave chase. A lot of reindeer.
A lot of reindeer. Yeah.
I guess but that is also kind of it as far as like the mechanical side of things.
You also have a gun.
You do also have a gun that you use on occasion. Well, there is also kind of a final boss.
Yep.
In the sense that you have to like shoot a guy, which I did like. I like that, like you hallucinate the multiple guys and then you like hover them and they like warble. And if they warble, then you don't shoot them, you shoot the other one. That one, I thought that was fine and good. And like even has like the mushrooms as like a health regeneration item, which was funny to me.
Right.
But yeah, I do like what they did mechanically. Like that to me is the big difference between this and a Szymanski is it's just a wild sentence, but is that this one did have like it felt more gamified, not in the sense that they're like points and stuff, but it felt like it had a more similar like trajectory from start to finish than a Szymanski, which is kind of like we have a script and these are the things that you do in the game and you go to those things. And like he's obviously implemented different things as time goes on, but like this like fits between two of his games, I think, pretty well in terms of like the amount of interaction you have. And I do like that the interaction that you have is obtuse and weird in the sled dogs thing, because it just feels right for this kind of a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just more cohesive and less experimental than a David Szymanski game.
Yeah. Though I do want to say there is like this element of the fact that this game is not voice acted and it's very easy to miss dialogue because of how focused you have to be on the movement controls.
Right.
Did your audience like help you keep up with the story by reading off the subtitles while you were playing?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I feel like that would have helped me because I would be like, fuck, I missed like 3 lines of dialogue there because there was kind of a steep hill I was going up.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those kinds of things that I get used to pretty quick, like being able to split my attention between those kinds of things. Yeah, because I feel like with a game with like a lo-fi aesthetic like this, like I would actually think I would like it less if it had voice acting. Like there's something about like older games and like you get the text sound effect. Like I don't know, maybe it's just a nostalgic thing, but I like that it does not have voice acting.
What if it was like text to speech voice acting?
I think that's like the worst of the 3.
I feel like I've played indie horror games that do the text-to-speech thing that I have liked. I think I agree with you that it would probably not be good here. But it does have like the lo-fi graphical aesthetic to maybe supplement it. But I think it also makes you think of the character speaking as a robot. Just like, you're like, that's just the association you have. So yeah, maybe not so good. I wish I could say that we could talk about the narrative as a thing, but it is sort of disparate, and I don't know that I got... do you know if this game has multiple endings?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I guess I could look that up, and will during this conversation, but from my experience playing it, I got to a point that was like... where it, like, apparently I read all of the documents in the game, so I had like all of that information, but there is a lot of splitting off. Like you bounce back and forth between different time periods and excursions, times of day at really abrupt points too, which just from a storytelling perspective I really liked. I like that you you would like pull up on a cabin or something, and then it would like cut to it's like pitch black suddenly, and the guy's like having a conversation with you. Like I really love those quick cuts because it kept the player disoriented, and also kind of was able to emphasize the important places in a game that doesn't have a whole lot of them.
Yeah, I feel like it also had a cool effect of like how making a trip like that could be really kind of like trance like, or like going on like a long road trip. It's like you're just like you see like, it's just nothing all around you. Then it cuts to it being darker, but it's exactly the same. Like it's
Right.
almost like a how long has it been? Like maybe like like you were zoning out and you've just come back to full consciousness on what you were doing. Like it has like a cool like kind of implied effect like that as well that I think is interesting.
And it is like it's great because like it's hard to get that across with contiguous I guess gameplay where you are without it making you spend like a long time. Like if you want something like that, you can look at a game like Death Stranding that is like about traversal across large distances where you can kind of get that like hypnotic feeling. Them cutting it allows this game to be really concise and get to its points, but also still give you that trance-like feeling that you were describing, which I think is pretty rad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it also makes me think of things like cabin fever and like how many days has it been, and like it definitely I think adds to that disorienting kind of feeling and I think it's intentionally kind of capturing it through the medium in that way, which is cool.
Yeah. And even like to me, like it's like the time is not clear and like when you're being told this, but also I'm not like 1,000% sure that you're the same guy for the whole game. Like I don't know if that's. I mean, I assume it is, but the more that I've like thought about it, I'm not like 100% sure because you keep going to these cabins. And then at the end of the game, you get tied up and poisoned. And then you leave that cave where you've been tied up and poisoned and then go to another cabin. And there are other people who are dead there. And it's like, was there a navigator before? Like another musher who came through with these people. And now I'm a new person discovering them. Because that seems to be linearly in order. Like, it doesn't cut at any point between those two times. But I don't know. I don't even know if it matters, really.
Yeah. From my recollection, I think the guy you're with, like I guess he's like your employer or whatever, was there in this area with the research team or something, and they discovered the mushrooms and etc. and so forth. So like I think he's brought other people out here and did God knows what with them, feeding them mushrooms and whatever. So I mean, I hadn't really thought about that, but like I guess you could be one guy at one point in the story that was killed, and like because I think like the mushrooms kind of have like a hive mind type effect,
right?
And like so you could be seeing through somebody else's eyes, like an experience somebody else had, I guess.
Yeah, and if you haven't played the game, now would be a great time for you to stop and go play the game if what we're saying sounds interesting, because yeah, it's crazy because it's one of those things that's like the mushrooms are it's such a banal sort of like object to like center the game's like more mysterious elements on. Because a lot of like what makes the game creepy is that guy, like the guy who's taking you through it, and as the further along you go, and like the further you are from civilization, the more impossible it would be to turn back. He starts to let slip more of the sort of like almost like cultish elements of what he's doing, where he's like, oh, and at the end he's essentially brought you as a sacrifice to some sort of outer god in order to let him leave, because he's been there with his team for so long and presumably has gone insane, as all Lovecraftian horror centers around. And it's great because at that stage, you don't actually know if anything that he's saying is like true or real, but the mushrooms are this tangible thing. How do the reindeer always know where to go, even if they cut out the reindeer's eyes and their ears and their nose? Like, how do they find their way back? And it's like these mushrooms have this weird property that the game lets you play with, like mechanically as well, like because it shows you where to go during certain moments. Just good shit. I really liked the restraint that it had in sort of letting the story slowly unfold over. I mean, slowly. It's a 1 hour game. Slowly in the context of the whole thing taken as one.
Yeah, it's well paced.
Mm-hmm.
That which was good paced.
That. I see you fishing for titles over here.
I guess it should be well paced and not good paced. That is one of my favorite scenes in the game too. Is like when you're, just mushing through the snow.
In a 4-dog open sleigh.
Exactly. And he's just talking about that experiment and how like they just cut off the reindeer's ears and like cut out its eyes, and you're like, wait, what? Like, I'm trying to follow these deer, but like, what the fuck are you talking about? I think it's like the first time he like really clues you in to the fact that he is insane.
Yeah, that he's gone mad. And it was like part of like a scientific expedition, presumably, because the people that they talk about being on it are like a scientist, which I think is the guy that's with you, and a botanist, and then there was just like a navigator and the musher, and there's probably other people who were involved, but I just don't remember them. And so you have this like, it's like, well, I guess it would make sense given like this takes place in the past, so I feel like a scientist was also kind of an amoral monster who was like, yeah, I'll just cut out this reindeer's eyes, and like nobody would give a shit at all.
They were all high on mushrooms.
They're all high on mushrooms. But then it kind of like it just keeps spiraling. It's one of those things that like that's like it enters. That's the part where it broke the skin. Is where they finally are like, you're like, oh, this guy's like is insane. He's a crazy man.
Mm-hmm.
But you get like little hints of it toward like during the, I don't know if they're flashbacks or flash forwards or flash sidewayses, but where you're like, you go in and shoot at one of the deer and like he's like, oh, almost ruined it. And then you see that he's picking up the mushrooms. It's like, oh, the mushrooms are the important thing. And that's like very early in the game. You have this realization that like this is an important element, but you can't tell why or exactly how much because it keeps cutting to different parts. Just part of that good pacing, I think.
Yeah. And yeah, it's one of those things. The more you think about it, I think that scene where you have the rifle and you're like in the forest and you shoot the deer and you find the mushrooms is a flashback, but
right.
I'm only just now thinking about it. Because like the game is very non-linear. But yeah, on a different note, did you name the dogs?
I didn't know that you could name the dogs.
No, just like in your head. Did you refer to them by names? Like I gave them names.
No, not even a little bit. I pet them exclusively because I saw that there's an achievement for doing so.
Yeah, I got the achievement like in the first like 10 minutes of playing, I think.
Did you name them Balto and Scooby?
No, their names were
Beethoven. I'm trying to think of Airbud.
And Airbud. Yeah, you got it in one. No, I named them Skippy, Rainbow, Patches, and Montel.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I just felt like it might have been a thing that you would do. It's just to give them like stupid names to call out.
So yeah, I don't know. It's weird because like you were talking about like the environment in which we played the game in, or rather that you played the game in, where you were in like a room with other people, like playing the game while they watched, is a different experience because I was very much like I turned the lights off and like sat lonely in a chair with the AC off, so it was like cold. Or the heat off, so it was very cold while I was doing it. So I was in this like almost like isolated little chamber just to play the game. So I was not thinking whimsically at all in this instance. Though I could see in a different world, I could 100% see myself doing that.
Yeah, I like the little like grin that they make when you pet them. So I feel like even if I was playing by myself, I probably still would have given them names.
They are rendered to be friendly. And the man is clearly not.
Yeah, very creepy.
Yeah, he's a creepy, weird guy. Which is another thing that we can sort of branch into.
Yeah. Just one last thing on the dogs, though. I think one of the best moments of the game, though, is when the guy has stolen the sled, and you like have to get it back. Like when you like run around through the pine trees while you're getting shot out, and you find all the dogs, and then you find the sled. I just think that's a really memorable part.
Agreed, and I think what it does, and kind of what I was getting to, is like I like that the dogs that is on their face, like. The game doesn't pull like anything. It doesn't kill the dogs. It doesn't make the dogs into a liquor monster from Resident Evil.
Yeah, there's no dog from the Thing where its face.
There's no dog from the Thing. So it does like on its face, like, and I think, and the other thing that I was gonna talk about is like that art style, like the fact that they chose such a low fidelity. Style for how the visuals all look. It's both impressive that they were able to like characterize the dogs in a way where like I never suspected that the dogs might turn into the dog from the Thing, but that was totally on the table the whole time.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, the dogs got into the mushrooms.
Yeah, like it was definitely I liked how they sort of pointed the story in a direction and didn't like there were like surprises, but it was never like a fuck you kind of surprise. Like this game actually has kind of like a quote unquote good ending. Everyone is dead except for you, but it does seem like you're at least able to like try and find a way out. Will you is another question, but it just seems like the kind of game that would not do that. It feels narratively complete to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were able to do that with the low fidelity art style, I think, helped it a lot.
Yeah. And this is another game proving that low poly, no anti-aliasing, PS1 style graphics go really well with a bunch of fog. Like for some reason, like the completely whited out sky and wind in the PS1 graphics, like going over a fucking snowy mountain, just looks really good.
I had a what is becoming this is like a 2025 me thing, which means I need to really step it up in 2026, where I started this game with the brightness turned way too far down. The game just functions so much better with the brightness turned up because limited visibility is like a part of the game's mechanics, but it's through a whiteout, not through darkness. So that first part, and then when you cut back to that part where you're in the night going down the foresty part of the trail, is impossible to see anything if the brightness is low. And yet all of the other scenes where limited visibility is like an intentional part of it, are totally unaffected. So just turn the brightness up, idiot.
This is making a lot of sense because I remember like when we were playing Minecraft, you'd be like, "Oh, it's like pitch black in here," and I'm like,
Without the torches.
I'm like, I can see without a torch. Yeah.
I, however, stand by my decision in Minecraft. I think that is like a integral part of the mechanics where you put them to encourage you to place torches down when you're exploring. So nana nana boo boo, it basically, in essence, nana nana boo boo.
Stick your head in doo doo.
Well, anyway, so the game was 1 hour, so I don't have anything else to talk about. I can't, like, I don't know if there's value in, like, speculating on certain things. I don't really think so.
I guess the only things that I have left is, and one of them is just a speculative thing. It's like the final shot of the game, I think, is also memorable and interesting, where it cuts from your point of view to like down by the sled. I just wonder if you had like any kind of interpretation as to, like what that's suggesting.
I hate myself. So just get that out of the way first. Because the first thing that I thought was there was always this, for some reason, I don't know why it was included at all, but ever since the third Grand Theft Auto game, there's been this unusable cinematic camera, and the first shot would always be like on your car tire. And I was like, who could ever play the game with this on? And that was the first thing that I thought of, because it's a similar angle. But I'm not actually sure. It feels like a very intentional thing, unless it was a reference to the Grand Theft Auto unusable cinematic camera, in which case I guess I nailed it. But it could definitely have some, because it's the only point in the game where the camera leaves your POV, right?
Right.
So I don't know. Loss of control would make sense, but not really in the context of where it shows up in the game.
Yeah, because I'm just not sure, because like you have the corpse of the guy on the sled, and but like his head, maybe he falls over, I don't remember, but like I don't think it's from his perspective. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what would be in that spot, and like maybe his hand or something. But
right.
like I don't know. Yeah, it's just interesting. It's like the only thing I could think of is like you were brought there as like a sacrifice so that the researcher who brought you out there could escape or whatever. So like maybe the eldritch entity has attached itself to you. Maybe it or something, like it's the thing that gave chase. It's like you're bringing it back to civilization or something.
There is a quote at some point in the middle of the game, and I don't remember it, and I don't have it on hand, so I'm not going to get it right exactly. But it says, like, even if you come back, the ghosts, something about ghosts, spirits, maybe? I forget exactly what, like, they use metaphorically. Like, whenever you are in the place that you are in, even if you leave, there's like a part of it that comes with you, is what they're essentially saying. And it's very early in the game, which makes you think like, oh, like going on this journey will change you on a fundamental level. You're like, I've now survived this like harrowing expedition or whatever, and come back a different person than I was before. I now know what like the lowest points of my life can be, that kind of a thing. But maybe it is more literal. I didn't think about that, but like that which gave chase, the whatever outer god or whatever being that exists beneath the ice, actually sort of like has a presence within you as you return. I could see that being what it is referring to, because I think it is implied that it's like, it is a very Lovecraft, like the ice being a solid form of water bulwarks against evil kind of thing, where the elder god is like buried beneath the Arctic. So maybe that is like by bringing the camera closer to that actually is indicating that.
Right.
That's a good thought. I did not think of.
And the other thing is like, also similarly to the David Szymanski game Iron Lung. Who wasn't there like a YouTuber who was going to make that into a movie or something?
Yeah, Markiplier. It's supposed to come out this year.
I was going to say Jake Paul, but it's Markiplier. There we go. I'm so old.
Yeah, if anybody had any questions about like your sort of general involvement with like popular YouTube creators, you've answered all their questions.
Yep. I feel like this feels a lot like a indie horror movie. I feel like you could adapt it to one really well, and like I guess that ending really makes me feel like the ending like of an artsy movie, where it leaves you on like an unknown like a cut like that makes you think after the movie ends. So like I just feel like it just feels like a movie concept.
What was the one that we saw that actually had like a kind of a similar name? It's not Sometimes They Come Back. It was They Come at Night ? Is that it?
That's
like
definitely the name of a horror movie.
Yeah. I think that was a film that we both saw in theaters, and then somebody in the back said, "I wish we'd seen the shark movie."
Yeah, is that the one with the cabin? Like, there's like a family. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
I don't think this is not like a film recommendation. I think I saw that, and I think we were both kind of like, it was okay.
Yeah, it's like a watch it on Netflix. No, go see it in the theaters kind of thing.
Yeah, but I think that they have a similar vibe to them, like which that also is like that was an indie. I don't remember if it was an A24, but like it was like an indie horror movie that tells this like story about an unknown evil that you as the viewer or the player, in the case of That Which Gave Chase, never actually gets to see or interact with in any way. So it is kind of like in the same vein. Like it wants to tell a story, and it's really short too, so it doesn't like hit against expectations, which I think a lot of like longer media has a tendency to do, where you're like, okay, you've been telling me about this and telling me about this. There has to be a payoff of some kind. But if it just ends in kind of an abrupt way, but with still a satisfying ending, because you do like there is a resolution to the crazy man on the sled,
right?
Part of the story, and the mushrooms part of the story. Honestly, to at least some degree, that you do get a closure without it needing to go as far as having you kill Cthulhu with like a bolt action rifle. Which I think would be bad.
Right.
Experts agree. Not a good idea. So I like that, yeah. I get that feeling as well. I mean, I didn't get that feeling at the time, obviously, because I didn't say it. But now that you've told me to have that feeling.
Willem Dafoe as the researcher guy.
He would actually be incredible in that role. He just has do you see the Lighthouse? He's got a fucking just terrifying expression.
Oh yeah, and then Robert Pattinson is the player character.
That's the player. Oh, it's the Lighthouse too. the Arctic mission.
It is literally the same two characters.
It's like, yeah. At least one of them was dead at the end of that movie. Do we have Skippy thoughts?
My Skippy thoughts are that Skippy was a good sled dog.
He was a good boy.
So this game, I think, delivered. It's one of those indie game recommendations that panned out well. So yeah, I was really pleased with it. And yeah, it's super atmospheric. I love a game. I think that's like a shortcut to victory when it comes to like creating atmosphere, is like strong weather effects, rain sound effects, wind, snowy. It makes a really thick atmosphere, uh, really quickly. And yeah, like I love the way that the game looks. Like I mentioned, the PS1 style graphics with the fog and the snow just like looks really nice. Like the nonlinear storytelling is really effective and kind of puts you in a headspace, kind of similar to what you imagine the character is in, where it kind of disorients you and it makes you think like, how long have I been out here? How long have we been going on the sled? When is it? Where is it? It makes you feel lost, makes you feel disoriented, all things it wants you to do. And I think it's paced really well. Like I think you're kind of um caught up in the mechanics of like learning how to drive the sled, and then he gives you the gun and you're learning how to shoot, and then he hits you with, oh, then we cut out the reindeer's eyes. And you're like, whoa. Like it's well paced out. It really draws you in. And I like that it's nice and short. Like I love a just single sit down and play through the whole thing kind of game. And this was a great story for that type of a game. Yeah, really well thought out. Interesting weird mechanics that I think complement the story. Like it's really really well executed. I think it's like a really cool, impressive. Like it doesn't hit a lot of those like stumbling blocks that other similar style games hit, where like the mechanics are bad, but like they really just wanted to tell a cool story, or the mechanics are good and the story, it's all like they all prop each other up. It's like it's just a well put together game. I really liked it. So it's perfect to play this time of year, even though I didn't. I'm gonna have to capture the footage, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, see, there you go. Perfect. Oh, yeah, and it's actually very good that the episode won't be longer than the game, because then you'd have to loop it.
Yeah, I mean, that would be okay. That would be fine.
It'd be fine, but it would really drive home how short the game is.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and I agree with all of that, I would say. I think that for me, like, the two big things are, one, the pacing of the game is really good. I like the story that this game tells. I like that I don't know everything that there is to know about it. In a way, like I like that it was because of its premise as like a cosmic horror game. They did a good job of actually sort of like laying out the information in a way that left it ambiguous but gave enough context to make it scary and unknowable. That is a ratio that is difficult to hit if you have played any other cosmic horror games. It's rare that they land on their narratives as well as this one does. And I think that a lot of that has to do with how short the game is and just how well paced it is. The other thing, and it was what you were talking about there at the end, is that I do think that the fact that the mechanics of this game play into the sort of disorientation that the rest of the game goes for is a big boon for me as a guy who has like a giant hard-on for mediums using, like, the medium is the message, blah blah blah, but like when a game does a thing that only a game can do, where it enhances the other storytelling parts of the medium. I loved that there were lines of dialogue that I missed because I was busy futzing with the sled controls, because it's like one of those things where you catch a line and you're like, did I miss context for that? Or is this guy like off his rocker? So I think those things came together. I think this is more of a storytelling exercise than it is a mechanical one, which is why the stampede scene felt like it was a little bit out of place in it. But I think that if you're into that, I think this is absolutely worth checking out, and I really liked it. I think we're starting the year off pretty strong with this one, even if it was quite a short one. So, yeah, big fan, liked it. 100 out of 10. Thank you for listening to Describing the Skybox this week.
What's going on next time?
Next time, and there's a little bit of a in the cosmic horror terms, this is a temporal distortion where we're recording this episode before we know what we're going to be playing next time, because next time is Fan Brewery, the everyone's most favorite time of year, where you, the listeners of the podcast, suggest what games to play, and we pick from among them. We have a couple of games in right now. Quite literally, too. A couple. However, if you want to get yours in and maybe be featured in a few seconds when I say we're going to be talking about blank on like the next episode, then you can join our Discord, leave them in the suggestions or in any channel. Honestly, I don't care that much. Leave them as a comment on our YouTube videos somewhere. You can send us an email. Check our contact page. The Blue Sky that we just set up as well is a way to contact us. Basically anywhere that you can get a hold of us. Go ahead and do so and submit a game for us to play. But until that time, you can get a hold of us in all the places I just fucking said. Were you listening? Come on. Including on our website at describingtheskybox.com or on splattershot.pro, where you can find links to all of those contact pages, including our new Blue Sky account, our YouTube channel. We post video versions of all of the podcasts, as well as a sporadic non-podcast video here and there. It's pretty uncommon. You can listen to all of our old episodes, including the one that we did on the early games of well, I say early, we actually did the newest one on it as well. The David Szymanski episode, where we covered like 4 games.
Yeah, mouth washing.
Yeah, mouth washing. Fatum Bachelor. Anytime that we talk about something that has PS1 era graphics, we gotta go back to that one. You listen to the Bloodborne epilogue, which is cosmic horror, and it's a game that has a PS1 remake.
Yep, Signalis.
Oh, Signalis is just a great game all around.
Yep, also PS1 looking.
You could read my top 100 games of all time list to read about Signalis and Bloodborne.
Which you can't do anywhere else.
Which you can't do anywhere. We got the market cornered. No one in the world likes those 2 games. Sled, that like button.
Eat mushrooms with all the other people in the comment section.
Mush over to the bell and ring it to get notified of all of our new episodes.
Shoot it with your hunting rifle. Like
Do
it's
you
Resident
think-
Evil 4.
Yes. Do you think that the mushroom thing was chosen because of like mushing dogs? Mushroom.
I didn't talk about it, but I thought it was maybe the hive mind thing. I talk about this on the Silent Hill episode, but like fungus can like kind of be a connected organism.
Oh, right. You know,
But,
I didn't think about that.
Also,
That's pretty good, actually.
But mushroom, then.
Maybe it's just because it sounds like mush.
Whoa, mushroom.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Fuck. They did a